Welcome back to Unbiased and Unbossed. I'm back here today with a video in which that can only be described as a black man's manifesto to get rid of all American black women. Shout out to Simply Stephanie too, who runs a channel, for sharing this video and bringing it to my attention. I wanted to share it with my audience to make sure that we spread this information as quickly as possible, just to warn women to be careful and to be safe. With that said, viewer discretion is advised. A little bit of the background on this guy: he has multiple social media accounts. He goes by the name of Adawan Forrest on Twitter. He also has an account on BitChute, in which this is the place where he posted the video. I'll leave a link in the description box. And on there, his name is Jason Revolt. If you look at his name, it ends in ALT, almost like the alt-right. So I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was the black man's version of the alt-right movement. He also has a channel on YouTube under Jason Revolt. However, I don't think he posted it on YouTube because this would be considered hate speech, which it is. The other social media account, BitChute, I don't believe that they regulate hate speech, which is why he posted it there. If you put in his name, Adawan Forrest, into Google, you'll get multiple social media accounts of his that come up. One of them is called FSTDT. They do not monitor for hate speech. It absolutely says on there that you can post ignorant stuff on there and it will not be regulated. I'm going to show you the video. Please keep in mind that this is hate speech being spewed at black women, specifically American black women. It's about unaliving us. He uses a lot of rhetoric of black men will be better off. He uses a lot of rhetoric, just hateful rhetoric that's being spewed towards American black women and getting rid of us. Viewer discretion is advised.
I mentioned this earlier to someone else, but I do want to stress this. There's nothing you can do outside of killing the black women we have right now that will make any significant change in our society. Once we see the root of evil, which is the black woman, we have to cut her out. You can't chastise her. You can't punish her. You can't discuss anything with her because she's made it blatantly clear that she does not care about you or your well-being or what's best for you. She does not care about the rightness or the wrongness of anything. She just wants to win. She just wants what she wants. If the system isn't going to change, and it's not, if the female isn't going to change, and she's not, who needs to change? Us. We do. We've tried everything, and we failed. The only thing we haven't tried is violence, and we know that will actually succeed. Historically speaking, it's always been the case. When you read the Bible, what does it tell you to do? Kill all the women. Take the younger females as your wives. That's how you rid the world of evil. That's how you control a population to the point where much of the evil within that population won't be passed down to the next generation. That evil doesn't pass from the father to the child. It passes from the mother to the child. And unfortunately, women create much of the environment that we're in. So all the negative things that we see in our environment, that came from this black woman. And what's awful, what's heart-wrenching, is that other races of women are starting to emulate the behavior of black American women. This can't be allowed to continue. If you care about making any kind of meaningful change, you got to consider killing this black woman. And don't do it in such a way as to prevent you from taking action. Don't wait for everyone to agree with you. There are times when you just have to be the first to do something, even though you might risk being the only one to do it, which I guarantee you will not be the only one killing black women, trust me. Those who've always done God's work, the Creator's work maybe, those people have always been ostracized, never been the majority. They've always been the minority. They've always said the most unpopular things, even though those things were exactly what needed to be said. And in the end, they've always won. Are there going to be sacrifices and mortars and blah, blah, blah? Of course. Sure. But what side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side of history that empowered these hateful, evil Black American women to do even more evil? Or do you want to be on the side of history that culled the herd of evildoers and brought order, sanity, and righteousness back to society? I know what side of history I want to be on. Even if I died the same day I started cleansing the land, I know what side of history I would be on. I did something good that needed to happen. Anyone that isn't going to kill a Black woman is contributing to the destruction of our value system, of our society. They're contributing to the destruction of the next generation. When you refuse to kill Black American women, you're saying yes to evil, yes to homosexuality and transgenderism being forced on children. You're saying yes to men being even more enslaved to women as well as the system. You're saying yes to further losses for our rights and freedoms. But back to what I was saying, I had to step away for a second. No one's going to spell it out for you like what I'm doing right now, because everyone wants to say what's politically correct. But you have to remember, women are the ones creating what's politically correct. Women are adverse to the truth. They don't believe in freedom of speech, and they never have. So when you begin to tell the truth about our situation as men and about the deeds of women, women will do everything in their power to silence you. So you've never heard people speak like this openly. You've never heard anyone tell the truth about what we need to do to erase true evil from our society. There's no way around it. You can't lead women onto the path of righteousness. You have to take those who are truly evil and wicked, which is the Black American woman, and you have to chop their heads off. You have to remove them, and not with hate in your heart, but with the understanding that you're creating a better future for everyone. Imagine that, a whole generation of females brought up to respect men and not to try to destroy men. A generation of females who don't look at men as just a source of income or a slave of some sort. A generation of women who cannot and who would not dare to take what they did not work for. No more alimony chasers, no more child support chasers, because such things will be deleted from our society as well. Just a bunch of women who understand in order to benefit, they have to contribute. They have a role in society that was decided by the Creator himself. Go against that role, you will be deleted. That's a beautiful future, one where real families will exist. Loving mothers and loving fathers working together to raise children. Children having the benefit of an orderly society and family. Children that will reach heights that we can't reach ourselves in this lifetime because of the foundation we built for them. We can't have any of that if Black women, Black American women, continue to live. None of that's ever going to exist. You'll never see another happy person, especially a happy boy or man, if Black women continue to exist. You'll never eat at another quiet restaurant if Black women continue to exist. You'll never be able to enjoy the pool at any establishment without hearing loud people if Black women continue to exist. You'll never know what it's like to get along with strangers, to speak openly about a problem without being attacked by a confrontational individual if Black women continue to exist. Once Black women are gone, at least these specific Black women that we have here in America, all these good things can come and flow into our lives, into our society. Why don't Black children smile the way they should? They're never happy. They're always uncertain of themselves, especially Black boys. They feel guilty just for being male because they were raised by a Black woman. And the only Black males that thrive under the rule, the tyrannical, wicked rule of the single Black mother, is little homosexual Black boys. They adopt the mannerisms, the mindset, and the same hatred for Black men that they get from their mother. They adopt all these negative traits from their mother, completely destroying their manhood. As long as black women live, no good things will be allowed to flow. It's always going to be the very thing you need to do to fix society that society will work hard to hide from you. They don't want you entertaining ideas that you should use violence against the most wicked, evil people within our society, which is the black American woman. They want you to instead believe that the only way to change things is to kiss her feet and worship her, which is the only thing that we've been doing, period. Anyway, worshiping someone that looks down on you, that hates you so openly, will never change that person's perspective of you. All you're really doing is you're validating their opinion and their feelings towards you, making them feel like you deserve to be hated and pitied and looked down on. You deserve to be mistreated or abused in some way. Nothing will ever stop until you start killing people, specifically black women. Look at history. Whenever there was an oppressed group of people, those oppressed groups of people never got their freedom, never got any liberty until they started killing their oppressors. I hate to tell you this, but you should know by now that in today's society, our oppressors are female, specifically the black female. Many good things can happen in the future, but not until we delete her.
Take a breath. I know that was a lot. We're going to get through this together. With that said, I decided to head back over to Twitter to see what this man, this demon, was posting. And it wasn't good. There were a lot of posts about women that we know are women actually being men. There were a lot of posts about the essaying of women and how women deserve the violence that is committed against them. There were also posts about child support, abolishing child support. Child support is modern day slavery. You had men and women agreeing that that was the case. There were also reoccurring retweets from Tariq Nasheed. And I'm going to get to this a little bit later in the video about how that's questionable. But continue to look at these tweets, and I think that gives you a pretty good idea of this man's character. One of the posts that he retweeted of Tariq Nasheed's read, Louisiana Army veteran is tasered in her eye by police and loses sight. This diabolical individual wrote, good, I'm tired of black women enslaving black men on child support. She probably deserved it. Obviously, the hate and lack of empathy in him stands out. But what stands out for me even more is that Tariq Nasheed has a cult like KKK following, meaning that this isn't the first time in which someone has been unhinged and been a follower of Tariq. Back in late 2022, Tariq was visited by the FBI because Frank James, the black elderly guy from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who shot up a subway in New York, had reached out to Tariq multiple times, and the FBI made a visit to Tariq's home to question him about it, according to Tariq. So when I take all of that into account, I now know that I have to be careful, and so should you. If you're ever following or listening to any of Tariq's videos and you decide to comment, What I have observed on YouTube is that black male supremacy does exist. And that supremacy becomes even more impactful when they have a cult like following. Or it could just simply be themselves in their ability to access resources that may not be available to everyone else. With that said, black women, this was a manifesto. This guy hates black women. He's advocating for our death. He doesn't want to see us alive. And he's encouraging others to remove us from Earth. This is one of the reasons why I believe the black femicide rate is alarmingly high. Because not only is there a lack of empathy, concern, and care for life when it comes to black men, I think they've mentally committed to taking us out regardless of what they stand to lose, as well as the victim, in exchange for them getting glory from having taken out a black woman. Be safe. It's time for us to get together, clean up the communities, and be okay with black men being incarcerated. I don't believe they have an incarceration problem. I actually think the opposite of it. You cannot be out in these streets, in these communities, being unhinged, violent, and diabolical. They have shown that they do not love us. They don't care for us. They don't even see us as their someone needing protection. And I now know that that's very important when it comes to having a community that's flourishing, that's growing, that loves and respects one another. Black men have shown that they would rather see this community, the black community, be in shambles and not exist before they do what's needed to be done, which is be men and be protectors. I'm not going to beg them for anything. And I'm not begging them now. I think black women have to learn how to stand on our own and be okay with there being less of us walking around free on this earth. There are a lot of black men who are in jail. And that manifesto that man left only revealed that. Stay safe, black women. Report hate to the FBI. Thanks for watching.